computer. Okay, awesome. Welcome everybody to the extra support webinar, which was started several weeks ago now, probably 11 or 12 even possibly. And so when COVID hit, you know, our life was definitely impacted, as a lot of you were. My husband, who's an international airline pilot, lost his job for an undisclosed period of time. We don't know when they're going to be able to go back, and it looked like Virgin's being sold, and it all just seemed to go down the gurgler. And I thought to myself, you know what? Rather than sit here and feel sorry for myself and think that I can't do anything to change my own situation, how would it feel if I'm a life coach, so how would it feel if I shared my journey? How would it feel if I shared the tools, the tips, the techniques that are helping me through these times with everybody else? So then the extra online support webinar was born. I go live in several places. The slideshow is here over on my Rise and Shine meetup group. You'll be able to see it, or my team just dropped the link into the comment section, so you'll be able to see that link. Get in there, you can get the recording, you'll see the slideshow, and then you'll have a very clear picture of how I do what I do, and how I do what I do, how I published my first book, Rise Up, the Soulful Guide to Success, which recently went Amazon bestseller. So that's pretty exciting. Anyone can order that from my website. And it really is a book about what this topic is about today. Juggle up, how to keep all the balls in the air. And I'm going to share a little bit about my journey, my story, how I've been able to do it, because when you hear what I've done in the last year, I forget, but it still blows my mind. I've accomplished and achieved so much. Got 2 little kids, an 8-year-old and a nearly 6-year-old. And like I said, Gus is an international airline pilot, so he was away a lot, all of the time. When I was writing this, 4 months. 4 months it took me to get this from the moment I verbalized it to signing it for people and a copy in my hand published was 4 months, and just over 1.5 years to become bestseller. So I've released my jewelry line. I don't have my ring on today. I forgot to put it on. It's gone global, all over the world. It's a Remember Ring jewelry line. So it's all about remembering your power, gone all over the world. Super cool. And we've just received the baby sister, I call it, the earrings. If you can see, it says in the same writing as this, Rise Up, Soul Sister, on the earrings, all sterling silver, really beautiful. Then on top of that, I've been on national speaking tour, 2 national speaking tours all around Australia, one of which I took my kids on. So I think I'm extremely qualified to discuss and talk about this topic. You know, 6 months ago, I would have given myself a really hard time and been like, you're not good enough, you don't know how to do it, blah, 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 blah. But I was like, you know what? I've actually really accomplished some incredible, amazing feats. My relationship's still strong and healthy, because quite often what happens through these times is it'll affect your relationship, or one area of your life will fall down. You'll start doing really well in one area of your life, and something else sort of takes a bit of a back seat for a while. So this is what we're talking about today. And my free podcast is out. I did the same topic on the podcast. That's 30 minutes, just audio, so you can listen to it while you're driving, while you're going to sleep, while you're out on your walk. So make sure you get that in your earbuds as well. And some of the information the same, some of the examples might be similar, but I find when I'm learning something, the more I hear it, and every time I say it as a teacher, and my students give me this advice, feedback as well, the more they hear it in different ways, the more that it lands, and it just helps create pathways and neurons in their brain to get more of what they want in life. So this juggle up, what is it? The juggle, mastering the mummy juggle, what is the juggle? Like it's real, it's a real thing for people. And I think the metaphors I've used throughout this is pretty powerful. So what is it? What is the juggle? The juggle is, it says here, the mummy juggle. What is it? A skillful art of juggling 16 balls at once without prior training, instruction, or preparation, and it's invisible. Nobody else sees it. So there wasn't a dictionary definition of it. I had to go and source my own and make up my own, and I was sitting here doing the thing. I thought, what actually is it? To access a different part of my brain, because a lot of us have experienced this every single day, but not many of us actually know what it is or know how to share it. We just know how we feel. We know how it makes us feel. So it's possibly making you feel like this. Do you jump between jobs, conversations, thought processes within minutes? So you've thought this, you've thought that, you've done the next thing and the next thing, but you're not getting any results. This is the juggle. This is real, right? So you're jumping between things, you're not getting any results. You feel like you're juggling constantly between, like, with important things. And if you drop the ball, it's all going to come crashing down on you. And it's so scary and it's so hard. If that's you, this webinar is definitely for you. The other feeling that comes up a lot is feeling torn, like you're doing one thing and you've got this mother's guilt, which I spoke about on the webinar last week, like eliminating the mother's guilt. There's this feeling as though you're doing this, but you really should. The you should be doing that. And it's so hard. So you're feeling overburdened and burnt out, possibly. I know, because I felt that. And if I don't stay on this, I can go back to these feelings. And I do sometimes. But I know these 3 steps that I'm about to tell you, and I implement them. I make sure that if I'm feeling this way and these feelings start to come up, I recognize them and acknowledge them, let them flow through me, and then implement these 3 steps that I'm about to take you through. So very valid. Do you feel frustrated? Do you get around in life and by 3 o'clock you're just ready like to strangle someone? But what a lot of us are taught to do as women is suppress, push down our feelings, pretend that it's not bothering us when really inside it's a fire, and you just want to yell or scream or just pull your hair out, and you're just feeling really frustrated. If you're on here watching now or later, engage, let me know, because I'm vibing off you guys. I get energy from you guys. So let me know, do you ever feel like that? Do you ever notice these feelings like simmering and then they start to boil and then they just want to express and come out, but there's a voice in your head saying, I can't say that, I can't act like that, I can't do that. And you're all sort of feeling at your threshold, and then someone's like, oh, will you do this for me or do that? Or do you mind picking my kid up? Or can you have them for the weekend because I've got this or that on? And you find yourself saying yes when you really mean no, like hell no, I can't take anything more on. But you bloody well say yes anyway, don't you? I know, because I used to do it too. So we want to make sure we get you to this place where you're recognizing, acknowledging all these feelings. And here's the other one that feels like, I feel like a lot of us, let me know if it's just me. I see Narelle, I see Vicky, I can't see any of the other names up there, but you get so many things to do, but you just feel like you don't have enough time. No matter how much time you're given, you're going to need till the end of time to get all this work done. So you're not on your own. Let's get into them. The first thing that you need to do is you're recognizing you're juggling all these balls, and this was me. So use this as a metaphor. Imagine this. You're juggling, juggling, juggling. There's all these balls. You might have 4 or 5. Let me move this up here so you can see it all. You might have 4 or 5 balls, and all of a sudden, you seem like you got good flow and you're juggling. No one's ever taught you to juggle. You just kind of picked it up on the way. And then someone throws a 5th ball at you. So your arms have to go faster. And there's more balls in the air. And then a curveball comes around the side, and then you've got 6 and 7 and maybe 8 balls, and your arms are having to go faster, and you wobble a little bit when you get these balls, and they're all up there, they're different shapes, they're different sizes, they're different everything, and you're juggling like crazy, and you're up to 8 or 9, and you're like, might be able to fit another one in there, and the more you practice, the better you get, and you're going like this, and it's crazy, and then the 10th ball drops in, and you're like, oh my God, I'm just managing. And then you put some tools and effort and strategies and things in place to help you take on that 11th ball, and shit's going crazy and you don't know how you're going to manage it. And then you're at breaking point, you're at threshold, and someone just throws another one on the top. And it all comes crashing down, completely crashing to the floor. You're burnt out, you're tired, you're frustrated, you're sick, you don't know who you are or how to get up off the ground because you're just so exhausted from just juggling all this stuff. So guys, if this is you, if you know what I'm talking about, the first tip that you need to do before you crash and burn is drop them all. So this is what I said. I said, this is not the information that you think it's going to be. In my book, chapter number 2, Juggle Up, Master the Mummy Juggle, is people say to me all the time, Di, how do you do so much? And this tip number 1 is all about this. The key is I don't juggle at all. I put them all down. So drop them. That is tip number 1. You can see it here on the slideshow. Drop all of them. Take a moment, drop all the balls. Yes, stop. All of them. No, don't just leave 1 or 2 in the air. You just need a moment of reprieve, a moment of rest, and a moment where you can really take heed and look at all these balls that you've been juggling for so long. So step 1, take a moment to stop, to observe and witness and choose, because quite often the balls that you've been juggling isn't your stuff. You're taking on stuff from other people, and you've listened to what's important from your your parents, your teachers, your preachers, your caregivers, your uncles and your aunties. So you're living a life juggling these balls that aren't even your responsibilities or your values. So what we want you to do is just bloody drop the lot of them, lay them all out, splay them all out, go through the soul purpose process in the mastermind, get clear about what is yours, what is everybody else's, and then go from that place. What is yours? What is everybody else's? So this is what we do at the half day. We do this at the half day and the retreat. I take you through a process in person, or we do it online at the half day workshop and go, what actually is yours and what is other people's? And then we dissect it, we pull it apart, and then we're going to create a little bit more balance for you. So you can design your life in and only add in your choices to juggle. Can you imagine or visualize how easy it would be if you just took the things that were in the several things in your life that are important to you, your health, your connection, your family, and whatever else is important to you, and you're just juggling that. Anything else, then it has to pass through a gatekeeper to come into you, and that's what I'm going to help you do. So we want you to be able to design your life, adding your choice to the juggle. Let's go, next page. All right, tip number 2. I like to keep these short and sharp and snappy, so those of you who have just come across it and scrolling it won't get too bored by sitting here for an hour online. I used to do these for an hour, and people loved it, but then, you know, people got busy and they wanted short, sharp, potent, and snappy. So here we are. Let's move this up here as I'm recording. If you want the slideshow, guys, you can go up into the comments. My team has dropped the link where you can come to the slideshow and see down below, so you can just join in on Zoom. Okay, so tip number 2, you need to choose what you're going to pick up. So we've gone through this process, we've dropped it all, and then we're just looking, okay, what areas of my life really matter? And this is where I share about my book and what happened with my book. I wanted to get this book written out. I didn't have time. My life was full. I had about 15, 16 friggin' balls in the air. I did not have time to pick up another ball, and a big one at that, of publishing and writing my first book. So what I decided to do through the process was like, okay, put all the balls down. Which ones am I going to pick up? And I cycled it. So just quickly, as I'm explaining this, I told the people on the podcast the other day, it's a 30-minute free, shut the door please, Esme. Thank you. This is perfect timing for it, right? Because our morning has been hectic, crazy. Gus is doing work, I'm doing work, and the kids are bouncing off the walls because we didn't let them on the iPads. And she just come running out here, grabbed her toy and went back out and didn't shut the door. Anyway, it's shut now. So I feel you. It's perfect timing for this being school holidays, and it's not just me going through this, it's a lot of you as well. But yeah, when I decided to write the book, I had to put some of the other balls down, because if I had have taken on writing the book and tried to keep all the other balls up there in the air, it would have just crashed down on top of me. So what I want you to do is put them all down. Tip 1, put them all down. Tip 2, choose what you pick back up. So when I wrote the book, one of the balls that I put down, because one of my highest values when I went through the process is health. I was training several days a week or 5 days a week. And I thought to myself, do I need to keep that ball in the air? Do I still really, like when I first started training, in order to keep the habits, to change my body and to get fit and healthy, because I need to be on stage in front of people, traveling with kids, at home by myself a lot of the time with kids, you need to be fit and healthy. So I'd done that for several months, and I thought, okay, I want to write a book now. How about with consciousness, I put the training ball down and I pick up the write the book ball. So instead of training 5 days a week, what I decided to do was train 3 days a week for a shorter period of time. Because what a lot of people do, a lot of entrepreneurs do this, is they want the thing, they want to go into this amazing space, something else in their life, because it's not conscious, completely crashes. I didn't want to get to the end of writing my book and publishing it and being sick and unhealthy and overweight and sluggish and slow, because I committed too much to over here. So the key is choosing, putting everything down, noticing what you're going to pick back up, and then cycling it, which we're going to go through in a little bit down the bottom. So be gentle, observe your feelings. It's like you're watching a movie. You want to disassociate to yourself and look at all the jobs, all the responsibilities, all the roles that you've taken on. You want to look at all those roles, and you want to make sure that you fill your own cup up first, particularly if you've got kids, because you're teaching your kids how to look after themselves by how you look after yourself. Not by what you tell them to do, eat this food, do this exercise, put a jumper on, put your shoes on, all that crap. They're watching you. And if you are not doing what you're telling them to do, they're learning from your patterns, your subconscious patterns that you don't even realize that you're doing. So we need to make sure that you're filling your own cup first, self-care and nurturing, so then you can teach your little ones to do that. And I can tell you now, you can handle more, your threshold's higher when you have looked after yourself and you've self-cared and nurtured for yourself. The other thing that's really important is to run your own race. You've got to stop comparing. If you compare yourself to me, it's going to be a struggle, because I have sat down and spent years working out what my soul purpose is. I know what my soul purpose is. And when I look out and I see other women doing, or men, doing amazing things and just getting so much accomplished and so much done, and they're fit and they're healthy and their relationships working, and it's an overall, balance in their life, more likely than not, it's because they're on their soul purpose. You get this extra energy. When you're on your soul purpose, you get extra energy. That feels like there's more hours in the day. Things are fluid and they flow. But if you're not on your soul purpose, if you're out there in nowhere, no man's land, trying to find the thing that makes you happy, or doing what your parents told you to do to make them happy, shit's going to be hard. You're not going to sleep well. You're going to be tired. You're going to be questioning. So we really need you to run your own race. Stop comparing. The people that are doing really well generally are on their soul purpose, and I can help you find that. You've all got it within you right now. If you felt lost recently, if you felt frustrated, burdened, quite often you're not on your soul purpose. So have a look into the mastermind. You're going to get a free 7 days. At the end of this, I give you a gift of free 7 days to go in and uncover your soul purpose. The women and men that have actually done it have changed their life. So I really highly recommend that to all of you. Hey Zara, good to see you. And Destiny, Kristen's jumped on. This one's phone's being dodgy again, telling me it's reconnecting all the time. So hopefully you can still get the information. Okay, so you need to feel your feelings. A lot of us, like I said earlier, try and stop feeling how we really feel, because we've, the good girl syndrome. You can't say that, you can't think that, you don't want to express that because you're going to look like a bitch, or, what will they think of me if I actually say what I really think? You've got to actually feel your feelings, or else they get trapped in your body. Your emotions get trapped in your body, and they create illness and disease and make you tired and even more stressed and frustrated. So if you're feeling like you're doing this crazy juggle, put it all down, notice what you pick it up with consciousness, and then we're just going to take this feeling, I'm feeling overburdened and overwhelmed, and then you go through that process again. Okay, well, how much have I got in the air? How much of it is it mine? I'm put it all down, I'm going to pick this one up, I'm going to pick that one up, and then start again. So what we want you to do is feel your feelings, feel them, let them flow through you, and choose. If you're feeling like that, I ask myself if I have shitty, crappy, unresourceful feelings, I'm just like, well, why? Where am I out of alignment? Where's it not working for me? Where's it not working for me? And I'm still just pushing and pushing and pushing. Okay, so this is a really good point. Narelle says, I would love to know how you do self-care when you have demanding little people with you all day. Yeah, you train them. You train them. You train them, Narelle. Like it's challenging and it's hard. Like this morning I went on my walk. I go for a walk and it's school holidays. So I decided that I was going to take the kids with me because that's our good time together. And if you go over to my Instagram, you'll see what I did to include them today. Because here was the excuse in my head, right? The kids are home. I've got this on. I've got a list this long of things that I get to do in terms of, writing my second book, which is going to be out soon. Fourth piece of merchandise coming out, massive bulk mail outs of the current merchandise, like globally. Got some stuff happening in New Zealand, just taken on another role in Healy. And so I thought, maybe I don't need to work out today. The kids are here. It's really hard. I don't think I'm going to get to do it. And then I've trained my brain. I was like, no, I'm using them as an excuse. I work out because that's a meditative state for me. I don't have to work out like friggin' Arnold Schwarzenegger, but for me to move my body is really important. So I set the kids up to play. I could turn the phone around, except I've got several devices here, but I have a meditation pyramid there, and it is currently covered again, because I put the other ones away, in blankets and cushions, and they've made a little fort out here. And then in the moment, tell me if this is just me, the moment I started to do my exercises, they were all over me like a rash. And in my head, I'm like, honestly, F's sake, in my head, can't I just have 30 minutes to get this done? So important to me. It keeps me strong. It keeps my mind clear. If you go over to my Instagram, hopefully you can hear Narelle because that keeps coming in and out. So if you go over to my Instagram, you'll see I ended up doing my squats. I had 5 sets of 10 to do, and Ross was on my back. I've only got 5 kilo weights. So I said, who wants to jump on my back? Ross was on my back. Esme was on my front. And I did 5 sets of 10 with them as my weight. They laughed, they joked, they fought, they loved it, they hated it, and they committed to it. So I taught them, well, you've got to be here now until the end. You committed to helping me, help me till the end of these squats. So that taught them a lot of lessons. The other thing that's really important, actually, Narelle, really look at the 7 days for free for my mastermind, because there's a whole masterclass in there of how to do nurturing, self-nurturing with the kids, because the kids are such a big part of our life. And the brain, the way that we've been taught to do it, in a box, tick the box, get up, do your self-care, nurturing in the morning, do this, tick, do this, tick, that is just not going to happen with kids. So what we need to do is go in and we chunk up and we adapt and we flow, but you still get what you need. So it's a real art, but that is a huge, hey Jacinta, good to see you. That is a huge thing that I teach so many parents, this self-care, this self-nurturing. How do we do it without kids? The other thing, with kids, the other thing that often comes up is we have an expectation. We want it to be this way because it was that way before we had kids. So the key is adaptability in the moment and finding the slithers of peace and stillness in the chaos. And you can train yourself to do that and it will change your life. So definitely jump on there, have a look at the free 7 days in my mastermind. And I think I read something from you, Narelle, about sleep as well. And there's a whole sleep strategy, which I'm going to send you the video anyway. But yeah, the soul purpose stuff and everything is in the mastermind. So you need to juggle it, guys. By the time I had this, I was still fit and strong. Was I as fit, strong? I was still healthy. The other ball that I put down, picked up, was the eating, my nutrition. It doesn't take any more time to eat well, guys. I've got to eat. I've got to fuel myself. So I just decided, because I wasn't training as much, because I was spending the extra time that I usually would have trained in writing a book, pretty impressive, right? All right, so I'm going to train 3 days a week instead of 5. I'm going to eat even better than I used to. Doesn't take me any extra time. So can you see how this awareness is key? I didn't want to get to the end of it, like I said before, and be a big, fat, overweight, unhealthy, no energy blimp. I was getting on stages. I had to look good. I had to feel good. So you can do it too. Put them all down, choose what you pick up, and then just have, total laser focused awareness on what you're saying yes to. Okay, this is the other thing, and this is a slideshow I often put in. You can see it here. If you don't know this, if you don't feel this, you will be tired, you will be frustrated, you will live a life of doing things for other people. Who are you without all the identity stuff? So if I said to you right now, if you can't say your name, your age, your job, the fact that you're a parent, whatever, who are you? Explain yourself to me. We do this in the half-day workshop, and if you stay with me to the end, you're going to be given a gift of a half-day workshop. Send me a PM if you have to jump off. In fact, and I'll send it to all of you. We go through a whole process of who are you without all the identity stuff, and out of everything we do, it is so damn powerful. You need to know that, because it's relevant. So before you became a mum, before you started your job, before you started having the trauma in your life, or the partner, or the things that have happened to you, who are you before all of that? That is paramount to know it. So for me, I'm a creative being, and so are you. And by being, you are creating. So listen to that. By being, you are creating. So many of us get into such a do mode, us entrepreneurs, and we've got the goals, and then we've got the steps, and we break it down, and we chunk it up, and we chunk it down. It's just like, go hell forever. Like, I was an athlete. I was a national swimmer, gold medal at nationals. I knew how to set that freaking goal and work harder, eat better, train more than every other person out there to get there. It doesn't serve me as a mother. It doesn't serve me as an entrepreneur. It doesn't serve me as a leader to you, because guess what? If we continue to do that, you're going to be burnt out. And I'm not a very good coach if I just burn you out. What I want for you is to get all the things in your life that you desire and that you want, but even more importantly, feel good about it, be connected, have loving relationships, feel healthy. That is such a huge value to me. It doesn't matter if I get to the $1 million business, write the best-selling book, if I'm feeling frumpy, unhealthy, unhappy, if I'm not sleeping well. I started with all that first, and then everything else was a bonus to that. And a lot of us have it around the wrong way. They're trying to get the money, the fame, the fortune first, and then they get that, and then they have to look at their health. So I've done it the other way around. Health, relationships, nurturing, self-nurturing. There's a vibrational thing. When you look after yourself like that, then different things are magnetized, different people, situations, opportunities, ideas that come into your head. It's really quite amazing. You're a magnificent creative being, and you all have the opportunity to do that right now. So did it come up with tip number 2? Missed tip number 3. So tip 1, drop all the balls. Then you're going to look at what you're picking up. Tip number 2 is choose what you're picking back up. And then tip number 3, that keeps disconnecting. Yeah, so your tip number 3 is to cycle it. We need to cycle it and have this really deep awareness of what you're saying yes to and what you're saying no to. And if you can do those 3 things, even if you don't do them, with that awareness now and that visualization of someone juggling and putting all the balls down and going through the process of choosing what you're going to pick up, and then you're going to know the feeling when you start juggling too fast and too much. You know the feeling, and you know then just to stop. And it's instantaneously. It doesn't have to take half a day. It doesn't take half a day to grab a bunch of balls that you've been juggling, basketballs, tennis balls, whatever, and put them down and go, I'll just pick this one up, this one up. It can be instantaneous. It's just a recognition, a feeling, so then you can move on to the next thing. So let's go. I want to keep this under half an hour. Yeah, that basically is step 3. Who are you? Unless you know who you are, unless you know your soul purpose, you're going to say yes to a whole lot of crap that doesn't fill you up. And then it's going to be like doing a lot, but never getting anywhere. So that's really important to uncover that. Okay, so you need to take the next step. What do you need to do? You need to read books, immerse yourself in personal development. Whatever it is, books, podcasts, masterminds, online stuff, events now that we can all get together. Just put yourself in and around other people who are doing what you want to do. Proximity is power. Hang out with people. Watch them, observe them, absorb what they feel like, what they're doing, how they're doing. You've got so many online options at the moment as well. So there's no excuse, timeless and spaceless. That's why I've been doing everything online at the moment. The biggest 2 challenges for people: don't have the time, don't have the money. So with the mastermind, what have I done? I've overcome both objections. It's online, so it's timeless and spaceless. You can listen to it anytime. Also the podcast anytime, and that's free. The podcast is free. The monthly mastermind, only $80 a month, which works out to $20 a week. Anyone that wants personal development needs to make themselves a priority and can pay and will find a way to pay $20 a week for this information, which I have paid tens and thousands of dollars to learn how to do. So if you want that, you've got it. Schedule your priorities. My life changed when I started to do this, and this is about the juggle as well. You have got to schedule your priorities. You've got to know what your highest values are and put them at the top of the list. So when you're juggling, the priorities that you put down, the balls that you put down, won't be your priorities. So even with that awareness, you can choose, this is working for me, this is serving me right now, this is important to me, I'm going to keep it up. This one, not so much, I'm going to put it down for a bit, and then you might have to just go through that process that I talked about with you before. Okay, so now it is time to absolutely level up, level up, level up. And if you could see this slideshow here, it's amazing. So we've got time to level up. There's photos here of all the merchandise. So this is why I was feeling overwhelmed, and this is why I had to learn how to juggle. Because here we've got photo shoots. I'm a model for several businesses now. I go and model their clothes, and it all goes over Instaland, Facebook land, social media, and I blog it. So I share it. I share their clothes. So photo shoots, got to look a certain way for photo shoots. So it's important. That was one of the balls that I was juggling, continuing to keep myself in shape and looking good to be able to help these other businesses out with modeling their clothes. So to be fit and healthy, obviously the jewelry line now, which is the ring, remember ring, this one that I told you about earlier, reminding you of the power, and earrings that have come out now. So I sourced all of that. It's all sterling silver. It's all amazing. And sorry guys, I think that keeps jumping in and out. I can see it flicking in and out. So hopefully you're getting the information. If not, put your email below and I will send you a recording, because I've got the recording here. You can double time it and it's got all the beautiful photos and everything. If you're wanting to come over and watch the recording, go up and there is a link at the top. You can press on it. Link on the top that you can press on it and come over to the recording. We're going to get up, level up. This is an event with 70 people. I've been up in front of 8,000 people. That's the most people I've ever spoken and danced in front of. And that's going to increase. It's going to happen again. Sold out retreats. There's only 3 spots left to our next retreat. And obviously the book. So this is my beautiful little family here in this photo, which is amazing. And they're my why. Stop making your kids and your family your excuse and saying, I can't do it because I've got kids and it's too hard. You just have to change the way that you're doing it. You have to change your focus. You have to change the way that you're going to do it. And this is what I specialize in. It's this adaptability, this awareness, this deep sense of knowing what's important to me, what I will compromise on, what I won't compromise on, and you're making that a priority. This photo here, I wish you guys could see this, is my September retreat. There is only 3 spots left. So if you want to come, you're going to need to let us know. And then, you know, these beautiful photos of my sister and I at events, which is like our favorite thing to do. Okay, so this is for all of you watching now. We have a half-day workshop on the 18th of July, still online at the moment. We're expecting more than 20 people in the room. Half-day workshop. It is called 6 Steps to Soul Success, where we take you through some really relevant and really powerful, super powerful things that get you to the next level. So 6 Steps to Soul Success. You all have a free day ticket, free ticket to the half-day workshop. If you put in down below, if you're watching up here, put in free ticket to half day. I'll have my team send you the link. You type in the code, which she'll send you as well, and you get a free ticket. 18th of July from 9 till 2, I believe. I might have to check that, but you can all have a free ticket. You've got to take action now. Take action now, so you can start to live the life of your dreams. So nearly there, guys. The other thing that you need to know is if you want to dip your toes in, we've got the free podcast. You go over there to Spotify, you're going to look up, so this keeps pausing. Look up Diane McKendrick on Spotify and get your free podcast, 30 minutes, anywhere between 20 and 40 minutes every week on a topic designed for you, on all the stuff that I'm going through, the tools, the strategies, the techniques, the templates, the spreadsheets, everything that I use is going out in that podcast each week. I've had so much amazing feedback for it. Okay, so the other options that you've got is your monthly mastermind, the monthly mastermind that I run with Diane McKendrick, which is me. It's $80 a month. You can have free 7 days if you want that. If you are ready to take action, you want to find your soul purpose. You want to find your soul purpose. You want to know why you're here on this earth. You want some direction. You're sick and tired of being sick and tired. You need to join that mastermind. So down the bottom in the comments, hey, mastermind, I'll send you the link. You can come out. You do 7 days. If you love it, stay. If you hate it, you can unsubscribe and move on. I'm pretty much guaranteeing that you're going to love it. You are going to absolutely love it, and you get free 7 days. So say a big fat yes to that. All right. Who's ready to change? If you're ready to change, you need to take action right now. You need to make a plan to change something right now in this moment, whether it's schedule something, whether it's say yes to the half day, whether it's to go over there and listen to the podcast, whether it's to contact me to come and speak at one of your events. If you're running events, schedule something right now to make a change in your life. You need to implement it immediately as well. Something that you've learned, something that I've said. If you've taken notes, you need to move your body. If you've got any more questions, please PM me, but reach out. Don't just sit there and feel like crap. Guys, I've done this. I have done this, and I can show you the way. I dedicate my life to showing other parents the way forward, to be able to live your dreams, to get out of this funk, to get out of feeling frustrated and tired and overburdened and overwhelmed, when you really got this legacy that you want to leave with the world, something outside of the family unit. It's so powerful. And I want you to remember that it's the small things every single day that make the biggest difference. People look at me now flying past six-figure business, and they look in and they think they need to go from here right over to here. I didn't jump like that. I went like this, little bit by little bit by little bit by little bit. Oh, I'm not feeling good in my body. I'm going to start walking in the morning. Okay, I started walking. I did that for a week. Okay, that's my normal. Now, what's the next thing I can do? I can start eating a little bit differently. So that's what I teach you. I take you through the process as we clear out the subconscious, because you can have all the information, but if you have still got the old subconscious stories rolling round and round and round and round, then nothing's going to change. So we clear out the subconscious. That's what the mastermind's about. And just remember, like I said, the small things every single day. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for all the beautiful, amazing, wonderful engagement. If you're watching this later, #replay. Let me know where you're from. And it's been amazing and beautiful to see you all on here again. I'll be on next Thursday. Remember, the podcast comes out every Monday evening or Tuesday morning. And yeah, pardon me, lots of amazing content in that as well. So we're going to stop that share. I'm going to end that.